If you're sending 10% or more of the business to another business, you're building somebody else's brand. You should go to them and say, I know that you're probably worried that I'm not going to continue sending you this business, but I'm not going to continue to do that. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go into that business myself. Why don't you give me part of your business? And then not only will I continue to send you the business, but I'll actually be thinking about how I can build it. I think the easiest way to find things to buy is to look around the business that you've already got. So our holding company, one of our holding companies is called Idea Incubator, and we look at all of these types of things too. So for media, we were able to buy a DIYprojects.com, which is a much more heavily searched term. So we bought the URL, and then we had built a Facebook group with about 250,000 users. And we wanted to grow that because we know that every Facebook user is worth a certain amount of money to us per month in our business. So we went out and found the Facebook group, another Facebook group in DIY, about DIY projects, and we bought it. And then we went to Facebook and said, now we own 2 of these things. Will you merge these groups together for us? And they said, yeah, happy to. And so now we've got 500,000 people on that group. So that was just going out and buying a Facebook group because it's media that has the people that we want to sell to. Then we said, okay, well, we want to build a software team because we're going to, I mentioned earlier about multiples. We looked and said, hey, we're in the publishing business right now. We need to be in the software business because the multiple's significantly higher. Can we do that? Yes. How do we do it? We need to build some software. Do we have a software team? No. Do we know how to find a software team? No. You know, none of us has any experience with that. So let's just buy a company that already has it. So we looked to our vendors, and we were paying monthly to a company called True Conversion for an analytics package, and we basically just reached out to everybody that we were doing that with that was software and said, you know, we're interested in getting a software. Do you guys know anybody that might be selling or might have a team that that's too big, that they're going to let people go, that are good or anything like that? And these guys came back and said, actually, we'd be interested in selling to you. So just reaching out like that around all of the things, all of the businesses that you're interacting with right now is the easy way to do that. So for us, along that line, and speaking of mail houses, for our real estate business, we have a real estate SaaS where we help real estate investors get information to contact potential acquisitions, potential houses to buy. And as part of the program that we teach, because we also train on how to do it, we say you should send direct mail to those people, and you can get the direct mail names from our list. So we send a lot of business to mail houses, and one house in particular called Graphic Connections Group, we sent a ton of business to. And so we went to them and we made a pipe wrench offer, which I'll explain in detail a little bit later. We made a pipe wrench offer and said, we're sending you all this business. We think if you would like to have us continue to do that, you should give us a significant part of your business. And they said, okay. And so we got 20% of their business, right? So, and we do that over and over. And Kent was in here yesterday saying, that's basically what I did all last year. Like we did a meeting like this for real estate people, and Kent was sitting where Dan is, and I talked about doing these pipe wrench offers, and he said, and pipe wrench offers basically, if you're sending 10% or more of the business to another business, you're building somebody else's brand. Never build somebody else's brand. You should go to them and say, I know that you're probably worried that I'm not going to continue sending you this business. And they're like, well, I wasn't worried till, should I be worried? I'm like, yes, you should be worried because I'm building your brand right now and love you mean it, but I'm not going to continue to do that. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go into that business myself. And then I was like, that'd be kind of crazy. I've already got you, and you know, we have a good relationship. The customers are happy with you. Why don't you give me part of your business? And then not only will I continue to send you the business, but I'll actually be thinking about how I can build it. Right? It's very easy to get people to do that. And so I gave that talk, and all of a sudden he's over there like, and I'm like, when we took a break, I said, man, is everything okay? The family and the kids, everything okay? He's like, no. He said, it's not okay. I hadn't done this. I can't believe that I haven't thought to do this. I've been texting everybody saying, you need to give me part of your business. And And so now there's over a dozen businesses that we've acquired significant interests in because of just asking. So when you're...
I told that story at lunch.
Yeah.
And the one thing I did mention is Kent said he's never received a no. And it doesn't matter anyway if he did, because he always had someone in the background.
Yeah.
I got someone else ready to take your spot if you don't want it. And by the way, this sounds like a take, like we're really ripping these people off. It's a give. Because you're going to build their business up really big.
It's win-win. It really is. So anyway, so people that that you are either sending business to would be one, but people that your clients are buying from, people that you are buying from. So another thing to think about is product vendors. So for us, we weren't actually buying from these people. They were not really a competitor because they sold different stuff from us, but we had a website called Survival Life. And on Survival Life, we were selling all kinds of products that we went to China and made, but we wanted to sell branded products as well that people actually knew. So we went to the dealers and said, we would like to get, we'd like to get qualified to be a dealer of your product so we can sell it. And they said, okay, what's your physical store address? And we said, well, we're an online only store. And they said, yeah, no, we don't do that. I'm like, why not? So no, we don't want online people competing with heavy discounts with our retail store accounts. So we only sell through retail, people that have retail stores. You need to show us your retail store. So I was like, okay, well, let's go buy a retail store. So we went in Austin, since that's where our company's located, and we found, I think it was a 28-year-old company called Banana Bay Tactical that was a physical store, and we bought the store. We ended up buying it just for the price of the inventory, and then we financed the inventory over time. So we'll talk about that. It was basically a no money down deal. And then we inherited all the dealerships. We didn't even have to go apply for them. They already had them all. So again, it simplifies things, right? Then for supply and distribution, we were selling water filters, but we were not manufacturing water filters. And so we decided that we wanted to be able to actually have the manufacturing margin. So we found, this was actually a guy that Ryan Dice was in a Vistage group with. Vistage is like a business kind of group where people get together and compare numbers and stuff like that. So that's another place to look, like YPO if you're a member of Young Presidents Organization, or OPO, I think is Old Presidents Organization. It's called something better. Or EO, Entrepreneurs Organization, or one of those kinds of places. That's a great place to look as well. So there was a guy that owned a water filter manufacturing company, and of course, because they were in the Vistage group, Ryan knew all the guy's financials and everything, and the guy was having a hard time growing, and Ryan said, hey, we're actually looking to buy something like this. So we ended up meeting with him and talking and doing a deal, and so we bought, it was called, you talk about bad branding, it was called Fesco, which to me sounds like something that you should have a cream to fix, but we changed it to Rapid Filter because we did a rebrand on it, and then we sold it, and now it is called the Coleman Filter Company because it's in Coleman, Texas. And then intellectual property. Intellectual property would be the other thing. So we had a website called Startup Jungle, and Startup Jungle we decided was going to be for showing people how to get into lots of blue-collar kinds of business, like how to be a truck driver, how to be a cosmetologist, that kind of stuff. But we didn't want to write the plans for that, so we looked for somebody who had already done it, and this was just a cold search online. And so we were searching for companies that had pre-packaged business plans. And we found these guys at Business Book Source who had published 168 business plans, complete with Excel spreadsheets and the courses and everything. And interestingly enough, they had been doing $2 million a year in business for several years. And then all of a sudden, and it was an older guy and his daughter that owned it, and all of a sudden they got Google slapped and couldn't figure out how to get the money to come in that was coming in before. Like they got delisted basically. They lost their ranking on their websites, and they never could get it back, and they never could figure out how to do AdWords, and it's just funny, like they just let this $2 million business wither. And so they had these assets, and they wanted a whole bunch of money for them. They're one of the case studies. I'll show you exactly how we did it. But we ended up buying that, and then instantly we had 100 and some business plans, right? So that's just to give you some examples of reaching out around you, how to find places, how to find businesses. So DIY projects, that was a Facebook search. We just found we searched for groups of do-it-yourselfers. The true conversion came from somebody that we were paying money every month The Graphic Connections group came from somebody that we were sending business to every single month. The Banana Bay, we just reached out cold. And Coleman Filter came through a connection that Ryan had through his network. And then Business Book Source, we reached out from a Google search. So all the different ways that you might think of getting these businesses, that's how we found them.